seems like in 2014, because this interview resurfaced with my guy, Zayn Lowe, who loves me.
Yep.
Zayn, I want to piece it up the same way Cudi and Lupe did. You and I can, we can solve this.
Be progressive.
Nah, fuck that.
And I'm sure Zayn has no interest in piecing things up with me or cares. Cudi was being interviewed by Zayn, which I'm sure was a phenomenal interview. And I'm sure Zayn asked all the right questions, poignant questions.
Probably the most challenging interview of Cudi's career.
For sure. And I'm sure it was amazing. And we love Zayn. And
Zayn wants to beat you up so bad he has a migraine. Hey, Lupe tweeted that.
Imagine.
I felt him though. I understood what he was saying.
So imagine if Zayn retweeted that Lupe tweet that you just said.
Yeah.
And said, bro, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Like,
and then added me.
I know what he mean though. I know what he mean. It's like sometimes it's certain people that just get your blood boiling like that.
Yeah. So Cudi was telling Zayn that before he got famous, he worked at the vape store, which a lot of people know, especially Cudi fans. It's like one of his things. And Lupe came in there to just shop, and he hid in like the break room or downstairs in the basement because he didn't want Lupe to ever be able to say, yo, you sold me clothes when he got famous, which to me is a really weird thing to think of.
That's weird. That you're thinking like that. And that far down the line.
And thinking that me and Lupe will have beef one day. And maybe Cudi was right this whole time, and maybe he's one of the aliens that can see the future.
I can't trust people that think that far down the line.
To have beef with someone, I think that's strange. I think you can think down the line, like
not that
one
far.
day maybe I'll work with Lupe.
Not that far though.
But
that's like, because now you're seeming everything you do now from this point on to me. If you tell me like that's your way of thinking, I think that you're way too calculated.
This is like a That's So Raven moment. Like he, you know,
in camouflage.
Yeah, like because he had the premonition, and then he made it become true, but it never really was a thing until he invited that into his, you know.
But I'm with Maul though. If I'm watching this interview and we have I think Cudi did go on to say, well, he doesn't even like me, so look at that. I would feel right about not liking you, because why are you thinking that?
Yeah,
that makes me think you're trying to have beef with me.
It's weird. It's weird for you to just like you're creating this energy now between us. Like you ever meet somebody and you feel like y'all have an issue, but you don't know what it is.
Yes.
That's just, it's like, bro, like I do that a lot. Like there'll be people, but see, what I realize is it's because, or what I think it is in my case, I think that when you see somebody like that you feel like there's always something, whenever you see them, just like the energy is weird. I think that's because that person has spent so much time talking shit about you that when they finally see you, they're acting like, oh shit, he may have heard me. He may have heard something I said.
Yeah,
so the energy is just weird. So what I do is I throw them off their whole script because they're acting anyway. They're acting like they like me when they don't. I throw them off their script and just say what's up to them first. I'm like, yo, what's up, fam? How you? And just watch them like, oh, I was supposed to say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, take they line from them. Like, yeah, that was you. You just scripted with me. You acting with me because you really don't fuck with me. And I don't know why, which is weird because it's like, as men, why do you not like me, especially if I don't know you and I never like.
Well, you're catching them in their own brain going, oh, fuck. I forgot this beef is one-sided.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, I don't know you to have.
I've only talked behind his back. Shit.
Right. It may have gotten back to him. He may have heard something I said. Are we going to fight right here? Like, no, we're not. I'm going to say what's up to you and make you feel awkward.
When the reality of it is you never said anything publicly, so why should there be an issue?
Exactly.
You're in your brain.
So I feel like that's what a lot of this is.
Yeah. And then I think in 2016 it was Lupe was doing like customized verses on Twitter for $500, which Cudi said, and I quote, according to Hip Hop DX, because I don't remember this beef, was that's a bit sketch. So
maybe that's what this is all about?
I suppose, even in my research, it was hard to find much stuff that was a problem between the two of them. But Lupe...
This only happens in hip-hop.
Lupe in no way has ever been good music, per se. But he was like, you know, a cousin, almost. He was always around the good music camp. And we've heard about internal issues between Sean and Cudi, between Kanye and Cudi. I think there's more behind the scenes that we're not as privy to, even though we have a few examples of why they have beef.
This is just hip. I feel like if Slash said, yo, I'm doing $500 guitar solos, right? I don't think that Chris Martin from Coldplay jumps in and be like, yo, that's a little sketch.
He might have got hacked.
Yeah, like this only happens in hip hop.
Yeah. And I guess it's a little odd because Cudi, like, he tweets, but like, why are you coming out of your cave to talk about my $500 verses?
I can understand that.
Either way, we're talking about Cudi moving a little weird during that Zayn interview. I think we can give people grace and redemption when they openly admit, hey, I've been moving weird. He just had a reconciliation with Kanye, and I thought penned like a great letter about their relationship and how he's moved, and it's not just on Ye, even though Ye wild's out, I still have a lot to do with it. And it seems like he took that healing energy and went to Twitter, and the now deleted tweets, I'll paraphrase, because for some reason we can only find all the hate. Said to Lupe, hey, I moved weird before, I apologize. Shouldn't have been doing any of that. Which Lupe immediately, and I saw this part in real time, said, that's all I ever needed. Which I feel him. Sometimes you just need someone to apologize and say what they're wrong for, and you're good.
No, Cud, what happened was, see, I'm going to give you what really happened.
And then
Cudi got one of those, he saw one of those videos of Lupe swinging that samurai in his backyard.
I'm terrified.
And then decided, like, you know what? This ain't the nigga you want to beef with. He knows something I don't.
Yeah, Lupe's scary because Lupe can fight with his hands, and he subscribes to the Second Amendment in a great way. And if the Second Amendment's taken away, he can get on his samurai.
Yeah, he's got a
shit
katana.
Like,
yeah, you don't
like
wanna...
he's gonna survive. Like whatever. When we're talking about if the ghosts, the aliens, or the zombies attack, Lupe is one of the people I would want to be like in the same neighborhood as.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get behind Lupe because he's gonna survive.
He's a good neighbor to have if the zombies come back for sure. So like, you don't want to mess with somebody like on their downtime. They just doing like samurai solos on IG. Like I just don't think that's the guy. There's other rappers you can go at. Because Cudi probably can. Lupe can out rap you.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna beat you in Street Fighter,
100%.
And then he knows how to swing a samurai, or katana, whatever the fuck you call it.
And I'm sure he's proficient in nunchucks,
all of that shit.
And you can like find anything and make it a nunchuck.
Yeah.
So like he's just not someone.
Yeah, leave Lupe alone, man.
You remember back when Lupe called in the old spot and mistaken me for somebody that said something about him?
Yes.
And I bitched up immediately. I was like, that was not me, Lupe. I am a fan.
You
you have me mistaken with another white person. I did not say a bad word about you. And now I'm terrified that I've been walking around this world not knowing I had beef with Lupe Fiasco. But we cleaned it up and it was the wrong person.
Yeah.
All white people look alike, so I don't fault him. With that said, after this, that's all I needed. 5 minutes later, Lupe did what I do sometimes as well. Nah, fuck that. I need more than this apology. We got to talk. And then for the next 24 hours, it was a bunch of Lupe tweets, which you've already quoted so far.
I want to beat this nigga up so bad I'm getting a migraine. That's hilarious. That should be in a museum. Kid Cudi is a bitch and continues to be a bitch. Ain't nobody finna bring up he used to work at the Bape store to diss his bitch ass for having a regular job there before he was famous. And now he does an interview a couple days ago. It says, I'm mad at him because he used to hide from me at the Bape store. Hiding from the Bape store is just funny. Before he was even in the music game because I would use it against him later on a diss record, on some job shame. That's nasty work. Yeah, that's just weird to think that, man.
But then they went back and forth of
like
Cudi saying,
like seriously, let's just look a little deeper into that thinking. Like how insecure is Kid Cudi?
That's because he put himself.
He's admittedly,
I think it's pretty evident.
Yeah,
but it's like, bro, nobody. But you cause more problems by being that insecure than like.
Well, it made his career.
I mean, it made some good music. It made some good music, but still, it's like now it. You know what I'm saying? In real life, it transfers into relationships now with people, where it's like, do you thought that I would diss you later on for working at a Bape? Like that was in your brain, so you manifested this energy that I may or may not have for you.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I forgot. I'm all getting this shit off.
No, I'm just saying, like, think about how insecure that is.
Well, if you look at Cudi's history, it is not just with the good music example I was making, and I'm gonna really pitchfork and nerd out here. I remember when Cudi and Wale were like the next guys, before even Drake was the next guy, and they had beef.
Yeah.
And this is where I do have respect for Cudi in the way he talks about his mental illness and his insecurity, because I know he's actually telling the truth and not exploiting it. The mentally ill person is very tough to deal with.
Yeah.
Like that's where I laugh that a lot of these singers and artists will do the mentally ill thing on a record, and then in person, you're not mentally ill. Like, that's how I know you're exploiting it. You're a joy to get along with.
In real life.
And I respect Cudi now for this late into his career and his life, having reflections of, I didn't handle things very well with a lot of people. And I also respect Lupe for being like, nah, I need more than just an apology. Yo, I was tripping on Twitter.
I understand that.
And then they went into a whole DM exchange. And
let's talk in real life. Away from this timeline, social media. Let's talk in real life. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a real conversation. Again, and I think that's, it's okay for things to play out like that, but then privately, we also need to have a conversation as well. So I respect that.
What I like from this exchange when it got to the now better side of things, they'd had the phone call privately, like you said, but to close the chapter and to let the public know, because this all started on the timeline, he did detail, hey, I was wrong. I apologize. My bad. So I like that. Like, at least you don't owe people an explanation, but it's nice to see that you came back here.
Accountability.
Yeah, exactly.
Accountability changes everything in our culture, changes everything in our lives. If we just take accountability for the things that we do. And sometimes you get to a point where you might have to take accountability for things that you don't do. Mm-hmm. I've seen situations where it was like, that wasn't my fault, but you know what? My bad. I apologize.
Have Sean and Cudi ever deaded their beef? That would be one I would like to see. The same way I would love Lupe and Cudi to make music together, I would love Sean and Cudi to make music together again as well. Because they had it. Theirs is a little personal.
Yeah.
So, which I mean, from the outside looking in, I'm not sure Sean did anything wrong, but
thinking about rap beef and beef over the years in hip hop, like, you get older, you start to think differently, and like you think like, yo, did some beefs and some unfortunate events have to happen in order for the culture to grow and for other artists to, become who they are and things like that? Like, it's a lot of things that happen that I think we don't think about enough. Like, what if that doesn't happen? Like, if we don't lose Tupac or Biggie, like, how much did that affect the culture and how much did that allow for the culture to shift and grow?